Aim assist comes in two forms, rotational and slowdown. Rotational aim assist is seen in games like Call of Duty, Apex, Halo, and Overwatch as well. Rotational aim assist helps you aim at the enemy and provides help when tracking while you are moving and strafing. Slowdown aim assist is when you are moving your right stick and then it slows down your crosshair when someone's in your sights. I have made a discovery, at least in Overwatch, on how to use the new Deadzone system that Blizzard introduced to your advantage and to maximize your aim assist. But first, let's go over what I think the Deadzones are, and I'll try to explain it in an easy to understand way because honestly, I really don't fully understand all of the Deadzone settings. Let's go over what Deadzones are. A Deadzone is basically how much pressure you put on a thumbstick before it registers an input. So, for example, if you have a big Deadzone, it will take more movement on your stick to register that you are moving left or right or aiming. If you have a small Deadzone, it will take a light touch in order to register an input, which is why that sometimes you can have stick drift if you make your Deadzone too small. So, knowing this, let's try to understand what the Deadzone and Overwatch are, as they are split into two categories: stick custom Deadzone inner and stick custom Deadzone outer. And just letting you guys know, you need to set this setting to override in order for your changes to work. And don't ask me what add is because I literally have zero clue. Anyways, after some testing, I'm going to use the right stick as the example in this video because it is much easier to find results on. The inner Deadzone setting is what decides how much pressure you need to begin any movement on the right stick, at least I think. So the lower you have it, the less pressure you need to put on your stick to actually aim. I know this because if you set it to the lowest possible setting, you get stick drift as I mentioned earlier. So the game thinks that you are touching it lightly, so it's moving on its own. If you set it to the highest, it takes a lot of pressure before registering an input. The outer Deadzone setting is what calculates how much pressure you need before reaching the maximum speed that your sensitivity can reach. So using my sensitivity as an example and setting the Deadzone to the smallest it can be, any small input will no longer be slow, as it will immediately be the fastest my sensitivity can be. Any small touch on my right stick will just send my crosshair flying. And for this outer Deadzone setting, you can only lower it, you can't raise it. So, knowing all of this, I want to actually show you guys my Deadzone settings that I have. I have been asked this so many times since the release of Deadzone, and I'm really happy to show you guys what I've been coming up with after just testing for a good amount. Earlier, I was talking about the inner Deadzones, and this is important to what I have come up with. For this, I'll be talking about the left stick instead of the right stick. If you set the inner Deadzone on your left stick to the lowest possible 0.00, it is possible that you can get stick drift and your character will move on its own. However, I realized that you can find the lowest Deadzone on your controller that the game will think you have stick drift and that you are moving your left stick. So, the rotational aim assist is active. Remember how I said that rotational aim assist in Overwatch only is active when you're moving, as it should be? This means that when you are standing completely still, the game's aim assist will toggle. Nobody has found this out yet on Overwatch. And what's funny is that I actually figured this out on the day that the Deadzone settings came out, but I only recently realized how useful this is. So for this reason, I set my left stick custom Deadzone inner to 0.02. 0.00 is a little too fast for me because it could feel like your character is just sliding on ice. Just letting you guys know though, if you have played Overwatch for a long time like me, this can take a while to get used to. I do not change the outer Deadzone, but if I ever mess with it, I will update you guys in the comments. Moving on to my right stick Deadzone, I never actually wanted to mess around with it. I thought that my sensitivity was good enough, but after some messing around, I have realized that the settings I have on screen right now are best. This may not be final, as I may mess around with them more to feel a little more fluid when aiming, but I came to these settings because it allows me to have more input on my aim and just feels a lot better. Now, you don't need these Deadzone settings to be good, but it is my personal preference. My aim technique for all of this is still dual zone. I just wanted to say that I absolutely love all of you guys, and I just wanted to thank you all for the support on my video recently about a month ago with 100,000 views and more. It just means the world to me. I am so close to 10,000 subs, so if you made it this far, I would really appreciate you if you would just help me to achieve my goal, because honestly, when I started YouTube, I never really thought that I would even make it close to like 5k subs, let alone 10,000. But anyway, like I said, I love all of you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.